Hey everyone, it's Ryder from Skip. It's Tuesday, September 21st. Important update today on the stock market. Lots of activity over the past 48 hours. I'll talk about what that means and what we can expect going forward. As part of that, we talk about how to potentially use EIDL funds to diversify your investment portfolio, what's possible there, and maps on EIDL grant eligibility. We're really hitting home the fact that there are over 3 million targeted grants still available for small businesses, entrepreneurs, sole proprietors across the country. If you had income from some side business or full business in 2019 and you live in a purple area based on these maps and our lookup tool, you can potentially get $10,000 grant. It's a huge deal, so I'm going to mention it briefly again today. Who's eligible, how to find out if you're eligible, and how to tell someone else to take advantage of that money. Let's dive in today. Thanks so much for subscribing and supporting our effort. We did a lot of research for this video today, including putting up maps of EIDL grant eligibility to help you double check to see if you or someone you know can potentially get $10,000. So consider subscribing, turning on the alerts, and give this video a thumbs up to help the YouTube algorithm. So watch the next 7 minutes. I'll keep today's video short. A question for all of you today: have you claimed any existing PPP or EIDL funding? Thousands of folks have already done it on our lookups. You know, we have the #1 lookups for EIDL grants, loans, and PPP loans in the US. We try to keep this up to date as much as possible. Here's one example. Overstock Buys, a business in Pearland, Texas. They've claimed their business. You can see it right here. It says claimed and they have a check mark. You can do the same for any funding you've received that you find on the lookup here. Here's how to do it. Here's Larry's Barbershop in Pennacook, New Hampshire. Click, is this your business? Then add in your name and email address, and then click to confirm that it is your business. You'll get an email confirmation. In the future, you'll be able to control what's publicly available on the Skip website, as well as a bunch of other things like our funding tracker, and of course, see other funding opportunities. So the links to these are below, but they're at helloskip.com/EIDL-data and helloskip.com/PPP-data. Okay, better news on the stock market today. Stocks go up after the largest dip yesterday since May. The reason for the decline highlighted here: markets started the week on a tumultuous note after worries about China Evergrande Group, which has the biggest debt burden of any publicly traded real estate management or development company in the world. That prompted a rush out of relatively risky assets. That's why crypto's taken a large dip, but other stocks and commodities were also affected. The summer was generally very good for investments, so people have been expecting a pullback. You know, market corrections are pretty typical. We hadn't seen one in several months, so here's a quote: "We have had a great run, but it is going to get tougher from here with lower returns and more volatility." In fact, some investors cautioned there could be more fallout over the coming months stemming from Evergrande's troubles. And that may happen. You know, Evergrande is related to the pandemic. A significant number of construction projects halted across China, delaying revenue for the group and putting Evergrande in a tough financial position because they still have to pay back their investors, and no one really wants to take over half-finished projects. And here's a headline from the Wall Street Journal today: China's regulatory storm risks triggering wider economic damage. And again, this will not be isolated to China. It will have a global impact. So I'm going to be watching this very closely over the coming weeks to see if we see new signals that things will contract, that we'll see more adjustments, especially out of risky investments or assets to more stable assets. It's another reason for government-backed investments or government-backed funding. In the case of SBA EIDL loans, there's still over $150 billion left to give out to businesses. I've been talking about EIDL 2.0 a lot. If you think you may be eligible for an EIDL increase, or you have questions about the new forms, we can absolutely help you. If you want one-on-one support, go to EIDL.me, EIDL.me, add your name to the waiting list. If you just want to calculate how much you can potentially get, go to EIDL2.com. It'll take you to our calculator where you can see if you're eligible for EIDL loans, if so, how much. So we've talked about what to consider when diversifying your investments: stocks, bonds, real estate, precious metals, crypto. It's not rocket science. There are basic truths that are repeated over and over again to balance risk and return, have an appropriate mix of things that are less risky and things that are more risky, so you can decide what your risk appetite is. But as I talked about in a recent video, you can use EIDL funds to diversify your investments, not directly, but via your salary. If your EIDL loans are helping pay salaries, including your own, you can take a certain percentage of your salary, different rules of thumbs there, 20%, 30%, and put it towards investments. Now, thousands of you have answered questions over the past few days. Tomorrow, I will be going through questions and answering many of them, including from this video as well. So if you have questions about any of this, drop it in the comments. Myself and my team will be going through comments and addressing as many as we can in tomorrow's video. But I want to hit this home one last time, $10,000 grants. Yes, many of you are over the 10K targeted EIDL grants because you know you don't qualify, or you're still waiting and you're solely focused on EIDL loans or other funding. But it's worth saying again, because again, over 3 million people in the US can get these $10,000 grants. There's no program in the US that compares in size and scale of this, and they are there for the taking. The problem is information. If you don't know about this, you can't get it. So one last push, give this video a like so others can see this information, because again, the money is out there and it may be taken away as soon as the end of this week, according to Nancy Pelosi. She wants a vote on the infrastructure bill by September 27th. If that bill is passed, signed into law, almost $20 billion from the SBA targeted EIDL grant fund will be put towards the infrastructure bill. So we just put up this post, are you eligible for a 10K EIDL grant based on location? Heck, you can even help people individually who you don't know and say, hey, maybe strike a deal with them. So if you've gone through it and you've been successful, now's the time. Hey, maybe there are people out there that need help and you can be the one to help them. We briefly put up 20 US metro areas to give you a quick snapshot. We link to the SBA EIDL official policy map where you can hover over your area. This happens to be over St. Louis, and you can zoom in and see if you are in a low-income community. Purple means you're in a low-income community, so you can do this for your area. You know, what's frustrating is that this happens all the time. We talk to people who are like a block away. They may be right here on the edge, or in this area between low-income area, which is very frustrating. I know you're in a pocket that doesn't qualify. As of now, there's nothing we can do about that. You know, we've been pushing for 6 months for Congress to change these rules. So far, they haven't. The second best thing is to tell someone about this. So let me scroll through here. Here is what Seattle looks like. If you, south side of Seattle, east side of Seattle, low-income areas. Bay Area, we got a lot of areas on the East Bay, Oakland, San Jose, East Palo Alto, Los Angeles, many parts of central Los Angeles, or Long Beach, or to the east, San Diego, many parts in eastern San Diego qualify. Jumping to the East Coast here now, many parts of the Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, Newark's all qualify. Most parts of Bridgeport, New Haven, going up the coast through Connecticut, continuing to Providence, a lot of Providence qualifies. Same story in South Boston, North Boston, North Philadelphia, West Philadelphia, born and raised. Lots of the Baltimore area qualifies. Same thing around eastern DC and getting over to the Maryland border. Going further south, most parts of Atlanta, South Atlanta, east of Atlanta qualify. Miami and the west side of Miami. Large swaths of northern, eastern, and southern Houston qualify. Same story with Dallas. Same story with San Antonio to the south. Chicago, the south side and the west side. St. Louis, east of the river and on the north side. Kansas City, lots of the east side. We put in Albuquerque, a lot of Albuquerque, northern or western Denver, parts of Salt Lake, and many parts of the Phoenix area as well. So take a look. Large parts of cities, even towns, rural areas qualify. So take a look, help someone fill it out. You know, you can still apply. I'll leave a link to that post right below. You can apply here. It takes around 10 minutes. Help someone go through it. 3 million are left, and there may only be a week left for the majority of this money. So I want to leave it there today. Tomorrow, more Q&A, especially getting back to EIDL loans. And if you have questions about investments, stock market, leave them below. We'll address some of them tomorrow as well. Most importantly, thanks so much for your support and subscribing, giving this video a thumbs up. Stay well, stay healthy, and I'll see you tomorrow.